I begin, let's go back a few years. 1500 BC. The Polynesians took to the seas for the very first time, with nothing but a little bit of hope, courage, and nothing else. They had no Google Maps, no source of navigation, no ChatGPT. They just looked at the stars and the birds when they needed directions. They literally had nothing. They didn't even know what awaited in the other end of the Pacific Ocean, which, by the way, they aimed to explore. We find ourselves at a similar situation today. Instead, the ocean is just a little bit bigger. You know what? Bigger isn't the right word, because the ocean we stand before today is the cosmos itself, the universe. And it's not just big, it's infinite. In today's speech, I'll be aiming to open your eyes to the beauty of space exploration. I know some of you might be thinking, we have a lot of problems here on Earth, right? I mean, the Earth has a pretty big to-do list. We still have to fix poverty, wars, terrorism. There's just so much to fix. Why bother going into space? Why bother exploring distant galaxies, our solar system, when the issues on Earth is pretty much never ending, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that the ultimate key to this lock, the solution to all our problems, is actually space exploration. It may not directly solve all your issues, but it's sure to stimulate research, development, and progress to a point where we are prepared as a civilization to tackle these problems on our own. So let me begin by stating how space exploration affects you, affects me, affects regular people, right? On a micro scale. I know a lot of you here today needed navigation to get to DIA for TEDx, right? You needed the GPS technology. And guess who has the prize to win for this? That's right, space exploration, satellites. The satellite technology enabled GPS, which is something we use in our day-to-day lives, whether to go to school, to go to work, or even to go back home. Sputnik 1 was the first satellite to be launched into space by the Soviet Union. I mean, it didn't live a very long life. I mean, it lasted about 3 months, if I'm not wrong. And as soon as it re-entered the atmosphere, it just blew up, right? It was like the hamster of satellites, you know, it just died all of a sudden. But you know what? It did its job. And that job was triggering the ultimate space race. The space race between the Soviet Union and USA. And this space race has led us to where we stand today. With so much technology and research that we benefit from it every single day, even if you don't realize it. Now, I know not all of you are old enough to drive, so you might not be wowed by the prowess of GPSs, but the next thing I'm going to talk about surely impacts us all. I know everyone loves to go home and snuggle up on their comfortable beds. Now, I'm here to tell you that there's none other than space exploration to thank for that. Memory foam was initially developed by NASA to aid their astronauts in building their suits, because it's very comfortable, right? And now this technology has been passed down to us, humans, to use in our blankets, our pillows, our beds, our cushions, our sofas. And this is exactly the reason why, where we can go home, snuggle up, and watch Netflix, I guess. So though we might not realize it, space exploration does impact you and me. I mean, these are just 2 things I've listed. There's so much more, like water purification technologies, baby formula, firefighting technology, all of these things, even Bluetooth technology. Did you guys know, by the way, that Bluetooth was something that came after the first moon landing? That means we literally had people standing on the surface of the moon before we got rid of wires like this. It's crazy, right? Now that I've talked about you, let's talk about the benefits from a global perspective. Let's go a little macro. Earthquakes, floods, forest fires, all of these things actively threaten our very existence. And while space exploration might not actually prevent these natural disasters, it sure does mitigate its negative effects. For example, let's take the Australian bushfires or the earthquakes that ravaged Nepal. Space exploration aren't the Avengers. They don't stoop in to save people and fly away. But what it does is it's It aids in fighting against fire. Its satellite technology helps rescue people. Its thermal sensor technologies that work from outer space, it helps uncover bodies. So the point I'm trying to make is, while it may not be perfect, while it may not do and solve your problems for you, it makes us equipped as a civilization to tackle these pressing issues on our own. Still not convinced? Let's talk about medicine. The ISS, the International Space Station, is a one-stop lab/hospital. Due to its unique property of lacking the gravity here on Earth, it's able to do unique science. You know, when you do science with the lack of gravity, a lot of magic happens, like fluids are suspended in midair, and that's just the beginning of it. You can study cancer cells, bone decay, muscle fibers, and the list just goes on. I mean, there's so much you can do there out in space, which you're just limited to here on Earth. And let's talk about one more thing. If you're still not convinced with natural disasters and medicine, you'll really be excited by this. Jobs, right? Everyone needs a job. And guess what space exploration does for us? It creates tons of jobs. Though it may not seem like it, astronauts aren't the only people, only kind of profession benefiting from space exploration. Behind the back, there's a lot of mechanical engineering, computer engineering, law, agriculture, and the list just goes on. The potential, the very capacity space exploration holds, it's similar to the nature of the cosmos. It's unlimited. And I'm proud to say that the more we develop, the more potential it actually creates. You know what this slide has? It has dinosaurs. And I'm pretty sure everyone here knows what happened to the dinosaurs. And we don't want that to happen to us. So let's get a little serious. The Earth it's beautiful, really. That's one way to put it. Its oceans are magnificent. The forest, lush and green. The sunsets, I mean, it belongs in an Instagram filter. And I know we don't want to see this home of ours be destroyed. But the sad reality is that the Earth, no matter how big it is compared to us, it's really fragile. I mean, let's look at its history for a little bit, right? Around 75,000 years ago, the Tomo volcano eruption almost extinguished all of human civilization. A few more years, let's say 66 million years ago, the Chick X Club Chick Zulu asteroid that fell in around what today is Mexico literally evaporated dinosaurs. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here does not want to suffer that fate. But even if you might not know it, we've actually come really close to that. Really recently, I mean, within the last decade, around like 2013, an asteroid about, let's say, 20 meter wide, it passed really close to Russia, and it exploded, and it shattered windows, and the casualties it caused numbered about 1,600 people. And this asteroid was just 20 meters wide. Think of what an asteroid 200 meters wide would do. And I'm here to tell you that this is something not unexpected, you know. Asteroids 200 meters wide is basically something that passes by our planet like every other Tuesday. I mean, the destruction it would cause, just imagine it. Well, actually don't imagine it, because it's really unsettling and you wouldn't be able to sleep at night, no matter how comfortable your memory foam is. Well, if it helps, I'm here to tell you that NASA, in its space exploration endeavors, has actually taken a lot of measures to potentially combat this threat. In 2032, a bus-sized asteroid is scheduled to come dangerously close to our planet, and NASA is working actively to build a potential satellite system that directly collides with the asteroid and redirects its orbit away from Earth, keeping us safe. I mean, in the grand scale of the universe, we're nothing but an ant under the foot of a human. Without space exploration, we have nothing to fight back against the countless threats posed against us. So I guess we all could thank space exploration a bit. I know I've made asteroids sound really scary, so let me change up the mood a bit. Asteroids can actually have the potential to change our economy. Why? Well, modern economics is defined by the management of resources, the efficient use of resources, and the resources we have today is limited to what we have here on Earth. What if I were to tell you that a single asteroid, the Psyche 100 asteroid, the minerals and metals that it has within it is more in GDP than all the countries in the world combined? It's almost like an endless source of gold and diamond. And another interesting fact, Uranus and Neptune, right? These planets are in our very own solar system. And some of these planets have unique rain. Like, how water is actually what rain is in our planet? Well, that's not the case in these more distant planets. Some of these planets, it literally rains diamonds. I mean, it sounds so crazy, but trust me, there's nothing crazy when it comes to space. And this is just in our solar system. Imagine the next solar system. Imagine the galaxy, for example. Do you see what I mean when I say that the potential and the capabilities, the possibilities are endless? I'm sure you do by now. Moving on, you might be thinking, humanity has made a lot of progress already. What else is there to do? Well, let me introduce to you the Kardashev scale. The Kardashev scale is a kind of spectrum named after the person who discovered it, Kardashev. He's a Russian scientist. And what it does is, it places each civilization on a spectrum based on how far they've progressed. And Earth, humanity, regardless of how intelligent we might think of ourselves as, on the Kardashev scale, which by the way goes up to like 7, we're just 0.7. That means we are not yet ready and equipped to harness the energy of our own planet. We would be level 1 on the Kardashev scale once we can use our own planet to the best capabilities, but we can't yet. So I guess there's so much more to progress. The image on the right, on the right that you see is the Dyson sphere. I mean, it's to your guys' left, to my right, sorry. The Dyson sphere is actually a kind of capsule that aims to kind of surround the sun, our home star, and use its energy for whatever we might need it for. And this discovery would shift us from a type 1 to a type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale. So yes, everyone, space still has so much more for us to do. Now that we're coming towards the end, let me tell you that I've been doing astrophysics, cosmology research for a while. And while most people look at Mars as a second home, I have a unique perspective. I think that Venus is something that serves as a better second home. You might have heard this saying, Venus is Earth's twin sister planet. It's because it's so similar to Earth in some of its characteristics. The fact that it has atmosphere, the fact that it has biotic signals it sends us, the fact that it has water. The only issue is that it has really high barriers to entry. I mean, its toxic atmosphere and clouds prevent any kind of exploration from entering its orbit and studying it any further, which is why, people look at Mars, something that's really, not easy, but relatively simpler to explore and discover, right? The reason why I want to introduce my research about Venus is because I really want to get people thinking. Space exploration isn't about geniuses and billionaires leading everything. It could be you and me who end up on moon tomorrow. It could be you and me who benefit from the boons of space exploration. Imagine when space tourism comes about, you could be the one who takes your family on a trip to the moon. Tomorrow it might not be like, imagine you're planning your vacation. You're thinking, do we go to Norway, Sweden, Switzerland? Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, realistically, like in a few decades, it could be, should we go to Titan, Phoebe, Thea? This is where we aim and strive to be. And this is where space exploration could potentially take us. When Neil Armstrong finally reached the moon, he came back to us and said, when he looked at the Earth, his whole perspective of existence changed. He started to appreciate the little things more, about the fact that he, an existing living being, is such a rarity in our solar system, or so we perceive. He said that things like political conflicts and borders, these things that seem so massive and huge to us, in terms of the universe, it's absolutely nothing. In the grand scheme of things, it's nothing but a speck in the scheme. And you know what? I believe space exploration, more than technological discoveries and research, it's about changing our understanding of who we are and our understanding of the world. So before I end, I want you guys to try and see space exploration through the lens I see it. Because I believe once you start delving deep into this seemingly complicated topic, you will realize how beautiful it is. Thank you.